Chapter 3 on Voluntary Fasting and its order in supererogatory worship. Know that supererogatory fasting is especially recommended on certain days of particular merit. Some of these days occur yearly, some monthly, and some weekly. Those that occur yearly, apart from Ramadan, are as follows. These are the day of Arafah, the day of Ashura, the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, and the first day of Muharram. Fasting on any of the days of the sacred months is recommended, for they are times of special merit. The Messenger of God, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, also used to fast so much in the month of Sha'ban that one would have thought it was Ramadan, and it was related in a tradition, the most excellent fasting apart from Ramadan is during God's month, Muharram. He also said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to fast one day of one of the sacred months is better than fasting 30 days during any other month. And to fast one day in Ramadan is better than fasting 30 days during one of the other sacred months. And in another hadith it was stated, for anyone who fasts 3 days of a sacred month, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, God will record for each of those days the worship of 900 years. A report states, when it is the middle of Sha'ban, there is no fasting until Ramadan. Based on this, it is preferable to stop fasting some days before Ramadan. But it is also permissible to join the fasting of Sha'ban with the fasting of Ramadan, since the Messenger of God sallallahu alaihi wasallam did this once, though many more times he left a period of not fasting between them. It is also not permissible to precede Ramadan with 2 or 3 days of fasting, unless fasting on those days is a regular personal practice. Some of the companions also disapproved of fasting all of Rajab, so as to not put it on the same level of Ramadan. The meritorious months are Dhul Hijjah, Muharram, Rajab, and Sha'ban, while the sacred months are Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, Muharram, and Rajab. One of these months, Rajab, is isolated, while the other 3 are consecutive, with the most excellent of these being Dhul Hijjah, since it is the month of pilgrimage, the known days, and the numbered days. Of the sacred months, Dhul Qa'dah is the most excellent, since it is also one of the months of the pilgrimage. Shawwal is also one of the months of the pilgrimage, though it is not one of the sacred months. Muharram and Rajab, however, are not among the months of pilgrimage. In another tradition it is stated, there are no days for devotional practice more beloved to God Azza wa Jal than the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. Fasting during one of them is equal to fasting the entire year, and standing for prayer during one of their nights is equal to standing for prayer on the night of power. And they asked, not even fighting for the sake of God Most High is better? And he answered, not even fighting for the sake of God Azza wa Jal, unless one's mount was killed and blood was spilled. As for the days of each month that are meritorious for fasting, these include the beginning of the month, the middle, and the end. The middle are the days of whiteness, these being the 13th, 14th, and 15th. As for the days each week, these are Monday, Thursday, and Friday. All of these are meritorious times when fasting, and abundant good works are recommended, because of the multiple rewards that come from the blessedness of these times. The translator notes here regarding Friday that it is only meritorious if the day before or after is also fasted. In respect to the continuous fast, this is a practice which includes all that we have mentioned and more. Concerning it, travelers on the spiritual path have varying views. Some of them disapprove of it, and there are narrations which support their view. The correct view is that it is disapproved of for 2 reasons. One of these is that if someone fasts every day, it means not breaking the fast on the 2 feast days, Eidain, or on the days of Tashriq. The other, i.e. the second reason, is that this practice contradicts the Sunnah concerning breaking the fast, and it makes fasting a stone for the soul to bear, even while God, glory be to Him, loves to give us license just as much as He loves to give us challenges. If, however, in the absence of that, Someone sees in continuous fasting something good for his soul, then let him do it, for it was practiced by a number of the companions and also the followers, radiyallahu anhum. The translator includes commentary of the phrase in the absence of that, as to mean if someone does not fear harming himself or contravening the right of another human being. According to a tradition related by Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, the Prophet ﷺ said, "For the one who fasts for life, hell will become narrow, and he will live to the age of 90. Become narrow means that there will be no place for him in hell. Short of fasting continuously, there is another degree, which is to fast every other day. This, in fact, is harder on the ego and a more powerful way of subduing it. Concerning its excellence, many narrations have been passed down, for in following this practice, the servant is between a day of fasting and a day of thanks. Thus, the Prophet ﷺ said, I was offered the keys to the treasures of this world and riches of the earth, and I refused them and said, let me instead be hungry one day and replete the next, that I might praise you, O Lord, when I am replete, and turn to you in need when I hunger. And he has also said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the best fast is the fast of my brother Dawood. He would fast one day and eat the next. Related to this are the degrees of fasting that the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave to Abdullah ibn Umar radiyallahu anhuma, when the latter said to him, I am strong enough to do more. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, then fast one day and break your fast the next. To which Abdullah ibn Umar replied, I would really like something with more merit than that. And he, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, said, there is nothing with more merit than that. It is also related that the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam never fasted for a whole month apart from Ramadan. For anyone who cannot manage fasting half the time, there is no harm in fasting 1/3 of the time, which means fasting one day and not fasting for the next 2 days. And if he fasts 3 days at the beginning of the month, 3 in the middle, and 3 at the end, that is also 1/3, and will also occur at the most meritorious times. Even if he fasts only Mondays and Thursdays, that is nearly 1/3. Even when these meritorious times for supererogatory fasting are clear, observing them is incomplete unless we understand the meaning of fasting and its purpose, which is to purify our hearts and focus all our aspirations on God Azza wa Jal. So the jurist, faqih, who understands the complexities of the inward self looks at its states. One spiritual state may call for fasting every day. Another may call for eating every day, and yet another may call for a mixture of both. If someone understands the meaning of fasting and its role in following the path of the hereafter by way of watching over the heart, then what is best for the heart is never hidden. But this does not necessarily mean always following the same routine. It was related concerning the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he would not fast until it was said, he never breaks his fast. And he would leave off fasting until it was said, he never fasts. He would sleep the night until it was said, he never stands in prayer. And he would stand in prayer until it was said, he never sleeps. He did this according to what was revealed to him through the light of prophecy, and regarding how best to fulfill what is due during the time of one's life. Some of the learned disapproved of leaving more than 4 days between each supererogatory fast. This is equal to the day of the feast and the 3 days of Tashriq. They say that a longer period than that hardens the heart, engenders bad habits, and opens the gates of passion. And upon my life, this is indeed the case for most people, especially those who eat twice in a day and night. This is all that we wish to mention concerning the arrangement of voluntary fasting, and God knows best what is correct. Thus ends the book on the mysteries of fasting and its important elements, this being Book 6 of the Quarter of Worship, from the Revival of the Religious Sciences. May God Most High be praised and thanked, and may His blessings be upon the best of creation, our Master Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and upon his family, pure and sweet, and all his companions. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.